say you'll catch me.
Hey, it's Intuitive Jacob back after a long while. I'm going to get back to you on some more details about what's been going on at 0 point, and tonight we're actually just going to focus on the energy of the super full moon at 0 degrees Libra, the third at 0 this year. And today is actually International Astrology Day, although I'm not an astrologer. I will talk to you about some of these things and say happy solar year, because we just moved into Aries today, which means that maybe fire is safe in the air. It's Ostara and the spring equinox, so I'm so excited that I'm back here, and hopefully YouTube's going to be nice to me. I'd been having difficulty uploading while I was doing informant work about cryptocurrency. We'll get back to that. So today what I'd like to do is a reading for the elements. So I like to do an elemental reading where we're going to break down some oracles and get some messages that are for fire, earth, water, and air. And so we're going to go in that order. And I have actually already shuffled these cards rather profusely, but we're going to do some of that here too. And just make sure a little something came up to me too while I've been interpreting the energies around this full moon. 0 degrees really means something to a guy who came back from the dead like me. For me, it's kind of like taking a witness to the thing that didn't quite happen. It didn't quite get staked to anything. And I might have a little bit of a different perspective on that as somebody who literally came back from the dead, and whose birth chart also is at 0 degrees rising. And so I'm having fun with this, and I think it speaks a great deal to the time that never came and how much better we can do with things like astrology if we stop and pay attention to the fact that these coordinates that we have literally can be matched against IP addresses, SIM cards, hashes and stake, proof of stake with cryptocurrency, and everything that you have actually, and I have actually, we have actually bio-authenticated with our fingerprints, our faces, just by utilizing things like plasma screens that have plasma just like the plasma in your blood, and that's shared in the primordial web, if you will. And perhaps what the real awakening is about, and the time that we have quantified in order to explain the phenomenon of how BitTorrents landed in form and were not coined for the gems in our eyes, to be cracked open and only read from the half perspective of ripping open a head like the sun and the moon and chasing the eyes through parasite vision rather than quantizing the frequency and being one. So that's how I read it. And I'm actually going to read you a little bit about what this moon is, because I'm a moon reader, and as somebody who has felt his 5D love with him always in his body, I pay attention to her for energy and mood, and I find that moon cycles behoove us to pay attention to, because this is a birth and a womb. And being that, if we're going to talk like an astrologer now, Libra is about our relationships and how we balance. We're being called into a frequency of balance where we can see equally the perspective from both eyes versus just parasite view, which is what it looks like to me. It's weird as a guy that has my skill set. Sometimes when I see the patterns of people's energetic halo, I call them crystalline halos. And sometimes it just looks like they're like ramming their head like that, like to see something, and it's disturbing. So what I've made an awareness of for myself is how to just help people stop doing that. So didn't happen yet. This has been the land before time. I'm calling apocalypso, and I'm saying, hey, what can we do with these bodies that will allow us to call in the energetic light that can be part and parcel coordinated like GPS coordinates into the body? And that's where we are now. I'm going to be talking about more of that a little bit when I start doing some more readings here for you guys. But we're going to go ahead and just delve into this right now. We're going to start. Oh, and I will just say also, being that it's Libra, I got off the sidetrack there a little bit. Relationships. This is all relationship focused. And I keep hearing for some people, although the relationship might have a lot to do with something going on in your life right now, whether it's, career or romance or platonic family, for a lot of us, it's actually our relationship with truth and with ourselves and what we're willing to continue doing going forward or negotiating our way out of, and the tensions that might be coming up around that, because people are really being pulled. And anytime we have the moon come reflect to us like this, it rises the tides of water all over the birthplace we know as Earth, and your body is 80+% water, so do the math. It's going to bring up the emotions and different things, so keep that in mind. And we will start with the element of fire. Air tribes. The air element. I was led to bring my labradorite for this particular reading, and the air tribes are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Using the archetype cards from Carolyn Mace, pulling the artist. And this is a highly creative time for, I would say, a lot of us right now, just with the fiery energy in general, but especially with an emphasis for the air tribes. We literally have somebody hard at work, or busy at work at least, who seems to be very single-minded. The card states, light attributes, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Shadow attributes, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others and posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. I was hearing something interesting about this actually. You might be dealing with somebody that's got strong earth in their chart, if that's not you yourself. That would be somebody that's maybe a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. And if that's the case, you might want to go back and check out the earth reading, because the Queen is coming up a lot for this. I'm hearing that there was something going on here. They were showing me something about this Queen and how he, she, they, whoever this person is, other, shows themselves to the rest of the world on the other side of whatever this red thing is. It's like what's on the other side of the veil. And the behind closed door stuff is kind of like what nobody else sees. It's the other side of their world, the other side of their face. I'm hearing keeping things separate, business versus pleasure. But I'm hearing for somebody with air in their chart that they might have a relationship of some kind with this Queen, and I'm just hearing that they are like so focused on what they're doing that they don't even realize that they're the one that's on like that side of the Queen. It's like they were talking to me a little bit about I'd say clandestine, but secret romances and things that haven't been expressed. And I was hearing that somebody that met someone due to artistic ventures may have an inclination towards somebody that is strong in earth element. That's what I'm hearing. Let's see what else we get here. Okay. That clears up a little bit. We've got the 4 Foundation and Achievements card from John Holland's Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. I love this card. Very passionate, fiery energy, and also pretty grounded. It's a 4. It's very similar to any of your like 4 of Wands or 4 of Batons cards, if you're more familiar with those traditional style decks. But this is like the happy home and family card here. You see there's a family that's just standing there looking at the house that they have and the rainbow, and their back is turned to everything else. And I'm hearing that's kind of what is the advice. If you're at a point right now where you're feeling fertile, just focus on what it is that you're doing, especially if it's your art right now. I'm hearing there's a lot of need for people that are frustrated, different types of creative frustrations, maybe even intimate frustrations, that it could have to do with romantic relationships and just wanting things to be stable and wanting a stable foundation. And that for some people, the antidote's really going to be delving into work. But I'm also hearing that somebody just completely turned their back on whatever else it was that was going on and focusing on their stability and their creative ventures, and that they might not have realized that they have a secret relationship or a secret admirer or vice versa. But it's a really strong indicator on the earth element right now and a need to speak up. Let's see if we get any more clues here. I'm just going to flip on the, romance card. The romance card here, Romance Angels Oracle deck, is saying, let your friends help you. And then it says, ask for and accept support from others. And that actually makes a lot of sense. I'm hearing about somebody that is considering putting something new out there, and it just being one of those situations, one where they're needing the support so that they can feel stable and secure about what it is they're demonstrating. And that if this is not romantic, I'm hearing that this is just like a very friendly advice from your guides, that you can accept help from people and ask for help right now with whatever it is that you're putting forward. But for somebody else, for other people, I'm hearing there's definitely a really strong indication about almost needing help in the communication. I'm hearing that whoever it is here that is very focused on their work, especially if this is kind of leaning towards romance or even professional, and needing to get that next step so that we go to the place where we feel like we've taken the time that has manifested waiting for things to happen, like the Three of Wands usually is, where you see somebody just kind of like waiting for their ships to come in usually. And I'm kind of picking up on that vibe here just because we're seeing like 3 people and then going to 4, but I'm hearing that for some people there's a real need to get other involvement to help them take that next step. And sometimes it's going to be somebody who can open up a conversation for you or network for you, and especially in a romantic situation. And I'm just hearing high reference points back to what might have been going on with some of these others. If you're dealing with somebody that's strong in water element, or if that's you, I'm hearing there might be some disappointment going on just about finding out about a third-party situation with somebody that you might have been interested in which case I'm really sorry to hear that. In other cases, I'm hearing that if you're dealing with somebody that's more like fire or earth element, might be a time where there were some plans that you wanted to get together with someone, and I just kept hearing that there was no way to start the conversation right, and that it might be a time to reach out for help on that. You might have some friends, especially if there's a situation where you have a mutual friend in common that can help. And in other cases, it's just time to reach out to an intuitive or somebody like me for help. So if that's the case, hit me up. I'd love to help. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up right here. Thanks for witnessing.